Dustin, collector's
Yeah.
editions. So here's the thing about me with collector's editions is I've almost never been interested in them, but I will buy almost any Castlevania collector's edition. Although I actually just got one in the mail that I bought like 2 years ago that finally came from Limited Run Games. If Limited Run does them in the future, because I don't like that company anymore, I probably wouldn't buy it. But whenever something comes out for Castlevania or Mega Man, I typically try to buy it just because I like what the little accoutrements they have, because the licensed gear from those series is so rare and so seldomly released that I just like to try to gobble up as much of it as I possibly can. But otherwise, they've never really interested me. And in fact, I used to get a lot of collector's editions at IGN and do unboxing videos for them. And so I accumulated a bunch of them, and I traded almost all my collector's edition stuff, with rare exception, to listener of the show Kenneth Kopnick for G.I. Joes in return. And I kept a few things like my Catherine stuff. I kept my Ni no Kuni sealed copy and all my Castlevania and Mega Man stuff. But I got rid of like my Last of Us stuff and Infamous and God of War and Sackboy and all this random shit that I had accumulated over the years, because it's just too much. So I think collector's editions are cool if you're focused on what you like, but it seems like an overwhelming thing to try to collect all collector's editions.
Yeah, that's totally where I'm at, Colin, in that for the most part, I think a lot of collector's editions are junk and have junk in them. So, and some of the, not to say that I haven't bought one that has junk in it, but I am very, very choosy about which ones I go for. I have gone for the collector's editions of Persona 5, Persona 5 Royal, the Catherine remake. I got the collector's edition for that. I got it recently for Elden Ring, and that one in particular, the Elden Ring one, I was really happy with because I really wanted the cool statue that it came with, which I have on display back there. I love that statue. For me, a big thing, if you are buying a collector's edition and then not using the stuff in it really, or have no intent to, that's kind of weird to me, to just have it as this pristine box. I'm not big on that. The Zelda one, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't planning on buying it, and I didn't think it was necessarily worth it. But when I was waiting in line, they had them, and I knew they were going to be limited, and I thought, I don't want to regret not getting it, so I bought it. And the stuff inside is all right. It comes with a cool metal poster that I'm going to hang up in here at some point, and so it really is about being choosy. The one that I was thinking about getting was the Final Fantasy 16 one, because there's an awesome statue. It's just really, really expensive. I think it's maybe $250 or $300, but the statue inside is nice. So you got to pick and choose which ones you find.
It's kind of hard to commit. What if you hate Final Fantasy 16?
Right.
That's another thing too. That's why if there's a Castlevania AAA or Mega Man AAA game that's announced in the future and they make a special edition, I probably would buy it. But I have behind me, I have a few collector's editions that I kept in the box, much to your chagrin.
Yeah, that's Ni
no Kuni, and I have the Castlevania collection in the box, but I bought 2 of the Castlevania collection and 2 of the Castlevania Advanced collection or whatever it is. So I have a sealed one of each, and then I opened one of each just because I like Castlevania so much. I wanted to have those in my collection. But I generally agree with you. Just boxes generally. I'm kind of like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I just bought a bunch of mint on card G.I. Joes from 1989, 1990, 1991 that I've wanted. And because I want a collection of those and I want to like display them, and I think it's gonna be super awesome. But I probably display them on this wall. You won't even see them on the shot. But on the bottom shelf here behind me, I have my G.I. Joe 6-inch collection. I have pretty much every one of them in a box, and I opened some of them, and then they're displayed all on the second to bottom shelf as well. But I'm like, shouldn't I just take them out of the boxes and just display them as toys?
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason I haven't is because I'm too lazy to open them. Like, it's the same reason why this fucking G.I. Joe, this is a literal fraction of my G.I. Joe collection, a small fraction. And it's just been like that for half a year, probably. I'm just too lazy to even play with my toys at this point. I just buy them and then put them on a goddamn shelf. It feels a little soulless. Like, why are you even doing this? They just released a new HasLab for the 6-inch line for G.I. Joe that I think is already fully funded. And I'm going to be all over that too. And I'll probably buy 2 of them too to keep one in the box. And it's like, well, why? But why?
Right.
So I
Yeah,
can keep it in my fucking attic forever, and then one of my nephews finds it when I'm dead and fucking sells it on eBay.
yeah. You're right about the risk of maybe not liking the game. That was the number one thing in my mind when I pre-ordered the Armored Core. The not the top special edition, the middle one that has the smaller figure, because the figure's so cool. And the thing is, with a lot of special editions now, if you don't buy it when you pre-order it, you won't get it. They go. Like he mentioned about having to get Zelda for a premium. They if you think you might want it, it's better to buy it. And maybe if it's something goes horrendously wrong, hopefully you can return it or something like that. But they do come and go very quickly. As far as his bonus question about where to buy stuff, retro game purchasing, when you're dealing with special editions, in person is always going to be ideal. So then you can take it out, make sure it's complete, make sure it's not damaged or something like that. But eBay is fine if you make sure the seller has a high review rating and has good reviews and stuff like that, and make sure that if anything's wrong, you can return it. Mercari is another place where I've bought stuff before that's good. So, but yeah, in person, going to an event or a video game store if you have one locally, that's always just to make sure you're clear as far as the quality.